Salam.
What happens when you no longer remember how to find it?
Okay. So what happens when you can no longer find the way to recover, to find the hope that you've lost? Okay. By find the way, do you mean find the hope, or find the way to the hope? Or is it one and the same thing? Okay. Well, that's good. I think that's an important recognition to make, to know that there is always a way. Sometimes it's hard for a human being, coming full circle on what we were talking about earlier, describe to me hope. Everyone knows what hope is at some level, correct? Bole? Everybody knows what fear is. Is that a correct usage? Yeah? The one I don't get is the la. I'm still working. What's the translation of it? Anyway. So everyone gets hope, lah? Yeah? Was that good? Okay. I'm on my way to Singapore, so I really need to make sure that, because I know they use it a lot. And everybody understands fear. Yeah? To any greater or lesser extent. I'm not saying that we understand the deep, profound, ultimate, we've encompassed it. It's every potential understanding. But everyone gets hope and fear to some extent. Okay. But it's very difficult to articulate. Interesting. So we know about these things, but often the coordinates, the way, the path, the tariq, to get there is something which can be slightly cloudy. And there are a number of reasons for that. Modern life, all of its trappings and distractions. Sometimes just a lack of of access to authentic knowledge, to authentic sources. That's also a big challenge for people. Alhamdulillah, you all here are connected to, authentic links and chains of transmission, all the way back to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So to find the way, I think you can be on the way, but sometimes not realize that you're on the way. So just knowing that even that question, the search, I've lost hope, that recognition is Allah saying, no, but you'll find it again. And sometimes Allah can take it, because remember we said it was a state in the heart. Sometimes Allah can withdraw these things for a period of time in order for you to really work for it. Okay, now I know how important this is because I don't want to be in balance. I don't want to live a life of fear. I don't want to be depressed. I want to discover what prophetic hope is, what authentic hope is. Okay. Now that's a step in the right direction from the beginning. If we're asking those questions and we find that search in our heart, that's a good place to be. How do we now seek out that way to find out what hope is? I think the first thing is definitions. That's why we start out. What are we actually seeking? What are we seeking when we say it? Because there's the presumption here also that we always had hope. But as I, for one, given that prophetic definition of hope, I can't claim that I have any way near a perfection, in my own hope when I compare it to the prophetic standard, the prophetic model. Meaning there's a long way to go. So maybe I never really had hope, authentic hope in the first place. I had an inclination, but what Allah is now doing for me is entering me back into this very deep path. I think being around the people of hope is the greatest way to do this. Because as human beings, we're not robots. We can't be programmed. And theory, at some level, only goes a certain way. So we can read the book, but the thing that really brings it alive are those inheritors of those states. The reason why the book, even the book itself, this book is so profound, is because it was written by an inheritor of the prophetic tradition. And that's why we said it's even his words, when we hear these things, it's profound. So I think connecting to those people, observing those people, it's a continual process. The recognition that it's a way, it is a path. I think a lot of the time in life, we're looking for immediate solutions. But it's interesting, even from like a business perspective, you're never going to think about, well, what's the solution? You'll categorize it. This is the short term, the medium term, the long term projections may be slightly difficult. We have to, okay, why don't we apply this to our spiritual life? Well, why aren't I feeling good like in the next 5 minutes? Same with exercise. Well, I went to the gym once and my muscles started hurting, so I'm going to give up. So we shouldn't apply that mentality, the opposite mentality to the spiritual path. That it's a way and it takes time and it takes frequenting the company of these people of hope. The people of Allah always give hope. They always give hope. Because they're the most authentic. They bear those things are in their soul. Like they can't help but give hope just being around them. And the thing is with the people of Allah, even if when they talk about something that's fearful, it's never off-putting. That's the difference. Some people say, if you don't do this, you go to hell. And sometimes there's just this resilience in the soul. It's just like, what do you know? But if someone else says the same thing, it could be like, wow, that really affected me. So it's not necessarily the words, it's going what we were saying, it's the heart by which it comes forth from. If it comes from the heart, from a place of care and security, it will be transformative. So being around those people is the greatest way. That's a very general answer. I think there's so much that can be elucidated upon, but just to try and seek those people, be in their gatherings, frequent their company, seek their guidance, don't be shy, ask them. This is the way of the Sahaba around the Prophet ﷺ. Seek those coordinates because it's a lifetime journey to constantly recalibrate that balance. And we hear that there's always hope, alhamdulillah. But it's what kind of hope do we want? Jazakallah khair. Any other questions? It don't have to be questions. If anyone has like a thought or something that came to mind they would like to share.